All right, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. The wane in Spain falls mainly on the plains. The ants in France stay mainly in your pants. All right, well, without further ado, it's another trading day, another day, another day. You should be glad to be alive. You know what we need? We need some happy music. Let's start the day right, huh? So, guten Morgen. Ohio. Ni hao ma. Life is grand. Life is good. Life is beautiful. Yes. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you can afford to lose. What do you think? Who's that? Who's pinging me? Oh, just the programmer. All right. Yeah. The stove's hot. Be careful when you touch it, huh? Hey, my name is Wayne. I'm a currency trader. TradersWay is a broker. You are learning how to trade. Why don't we get together and collaborate and collude? Yeah. Or say it differently, why don't I teach you everything I know after working my butt off for well over a decade? Share it with you so you don't have to do the blood, sweat, and tears for years. Or at least you don't have to go through all the, open all the wrong doors before you start finding which ones are right. So whatever, I care about you. I want you to win. I want you to succeed. And maybe out of loyalty, or maybe out of guilt, or maybe out of just sheer genius, you will choose TradersWay as your broker for your successful Forex trading business. Hey, we do these sessions every day, 7:30 in the morning, New York time. It's approximately London lunch here at Forex.Today. You can also find me every Friday at FX Street, where I've been doing presentations for 11 years. Is that it? Something like that. I'm also Forex Speaker of the Year. So, yeah, you can swing by every Friday at fxstreet.com. It is for premium members only, so you have to pay if you want to play. Yeah. Okay. Anyone bulls on the pig dog? I think I made 4 or 5 pound-dollar long trades yesterday, or today, or I don't. It gets confusing. I don't know. I don't know when it was. Miles, all profitable. Well, I think I took a screenshot. Did I? Oh, all right. Well, I just. How do we do this? I guess just drag it over. What the hell? All right. So here's the account. You've been tracking it since Monday, right? I think yesterday it was up $1,000, and I think what I was it 28 profitable trades or something? So now this week I'm up to 45 trades, 39 are profitable, which is still my 86.6% winning percentage. So I don't think the winning percentage has changed. I've made 6 losers now this week. The biggest profitable trade hasn't changed. The biggest loss hasn't changed. The average winner went up, and the average loser went down. And the account, or the profit went from 1,000 to 2,000. So it's just moving along this week. And here's that volatility I had yesterday when I took the 4 losses, and here's where I took the 2 losses. So I can't remember where we were yesterday. I did post it on the website, so it's there if you want to contrast and stuff. But you know, as long as I stay at 85% winners, you know, then I can sleep at night. You know. Well, you'll notice that the average is still the average winner went up and the average loser went down, but they're still basically the same, right? And you notice that it works out to be about 20 to 30 pips, right? Yahoo, sir, right? So I'm just reinforcing what I said I would do last week, and then what I said I was did and was going to continue to do on Monday, and then said I would that I'm doing and continuing to do on Tuesday, and here it is Wednesday, and I'm still doing what I said I would do for the reasons I said I would do it, and it's an okay week, right? It's working out. I mean, it's only a couple of grand, right? But what's $2,000 on $50,000 percentage-wise? 4%. Thank you, Miles. Well, so it's a good week. That's a really good week. But don't worry, I'll give it back. All right, but that's how you think as a trader. Don't worry about that. Oh, that sounds good this week. Don't worry about that. Oh, yeah, don't worry about that. I'll destroy that. Oh, that'll all go to hell next week. Don't worry about it. But, you know, thank goodness it's happening, right? So, you know, you always got to put your head in the right place, right? No, I'm capable of screwing that up, sir. Don't you worry about that. But it feels good this week. Just remember this feeling next week when we're down 3%, and just say, "Wow, we're still up 1%," right? Lawrence, where you been, buddy? There's the big L dub. How's it going, buddy? Yeah, right on. So, you know, fine, good. So, whatever. I'm trying to reinforce that a couple of things. The market can giveth, the market can taketh away, and just because the market crashed last week doesn't necessarily mean it's going to crash this week. In fact, it may mean the exact opposite. The trading strategy changed. The tempo changed, so on and so forth. Because of the risk factor, I changed my strategy to what I thought would suit the market conditions in a logical, intelligent way, and I'm carrying that out. Right? Regardless of what actually happens, it's like I thought about it, I came up with a strategy for dealing with what I observed as being the market, and I carried them out, as I told you I would last week, Monday, Tuesday, and here it is Wednesday, and there you go, right? That's the big lesson, isn't it? Well, Miles, were you here yesterday and the day before? All right, where is my drawing tool? Let's over here. So let me be blunt as I was before. I don't know where the support and resistance is in the market. I don't know what the hell the trend is. What is the trend? Are these fundamentals? What's going on? So I'm hardcore technical and I'm hardcore short term. Right? See what I mean? So that's it. That's all I did. So out of what, 40 or 50 trades, I'm making 20 pips per trade. I can just thank my lucky stars that I'm averaging 10 to 15 in a row. So, you know, 20 pips isn't a lot, but if you're knocking down 10 or 12 or 15 over and over and over and over and over and over and over, well, then you know what? It could be worse, right? Exactly. Only price action yet. That's exactly correct, sir. But like, for example, let's look at this. So somewhere along the lines here. I was long here and here and here and here. Okay? Any guess why? What do you call that? What do you call that? And what do I teach you to do? Yeah, there you go, Miles. Hammock, right? So, like, what's the big deal, right? Like, what's everybody excited about? Like, of course you make money on that, right? Have you fibbed the retrace? Yeah, well, I don't actually draw it, but sure. Sure, you're right. 382. Oops, where's my drawing tool? Come on, drawing tool. Right? 382, 50%, 618, roll reversal, double bottom at a psych level in my sweet spot, which is 382, 50%. Just below this is the 618. So I thought, if I thought the market was going up on a larger time frame, this, and this is my buy zone, right? Because what I'm like, let me use this tool. You can see it here. For a bull, this is a 382. This is the 50%, and for the bull, the 618 is just below this chart, right? So if you're a bull, that's buy, and buy, right? Buy. Isn't that a boy band song? But anyways, I mean, again, what's the big deal? If you're a bull, that is straightforward, boring nonsense, right? Miles has thought it was a DM3 to okay. All right, so you were a bear. So then either you lost a little bit of money or you jammed your stop a few times and didn't get much or anything. Fine. Using daily pivots, it's a little tricky, isn't it? Because it's really playing the price, right? And that's why I'm not really paying attention to pivots these days, which I've already explained, right? Now, this is clearly a pivot and something's going on here, but I look at this and I'm like, well, that wasn't a daily central, right? Not on my daily pivot, not on my settings. So I don't really know how I feel about it, right? It's just like, do I really care? No. Do I think the market's playing the psych level? Do I think this move, the double bottom at London Open, is important? Do I think the higher high after a double bottom is important? Right? But I've spent years, literally years teaching you this pattern of double bottom, higher high, fib it, long and gone. Years, right? Like years. So, again, that shouldn't be a big deal. That should be like nothing, right? All right, fine. So where are we in the world here? Did you guys watch? Did you trade in Asia? I did, Mr. McDonell. Did you watch the Nikkei open like 1.5%? Holy smokes, eh? Yeah. So anyways, S&P 500 futures destined to be up 0.5%. Euro stocks up 2.5%. Oil up almost 1%. Bonds. Did you see the 10-year? 1.46. That's redonkulous. You know what it was 18 months ago? 3. At the taper, the 10-year T-note went to 3. It's 1.5. This is like as bad as it was when capitalism was on the brink of destruction. Wow. Is it really that bad? So Euro's up 0.25%. DAX up almost 2%. FTSE up 2.22%. Hang Seng, which is Hong Kong, up 1.3%. Even France for crying out loud, up more than 2.5%. France! Who is buying the striking companies, right? So anyways, like, yeah, cool. So maybe, I don't know, bonds come down or something today. Maybe the yields go up. But anyways, I forget what the number was. I don't have it in front of me, but it all started with Nikkei. So let me go off my brain here. It was either Kuroda or Aso. Right at the open of the Nikkei, which was 8 p.m. New York time, they basically said they're not going to do anything. So yen for a few hours was strong, and then London boys took it the other way. Boom, that's it. Let me look at a couple of things. The Royal Bank of New Zealand, their annual statement of intent. I love that name, huh? Long-term inflation expectations are well anchored at 2%. However, further policy easing may be needed. But not today. So Kiwi's up. So remember, I tried to buy it at 70. Scumbag stupid thing is now at 73. The British pound distracted me. And the markets were moving enough where if you were not looking in the course of 3 or 4 minutes, it dropped or rose 100 pips. And I missed it because I didn't want to just throw down a limit order because I could lose 200 or 300 pips. So I was watching Kiwi yen, trading pound dollar, scalp, looked over and left, and it had come down and went up, and I missed it by 100 pips. And I'm like, I'm not chasing that by 100 pips. And that's it, lost it. Oh, son of a. So anyways, going back to this this Kiwi, news. Further policy may be required, but not now, not today, right? So boom, it goes up. The economy is expanding, but uncertainties remain. Working on deepening understanding of low inflation, economy is facing a number of headwinds, reiterates we will explore additional macroprudential policy options. They're working with banks on stress testing. The financial system remains sound and well placed to support economic expansion. Housing prices going up is a problem. Low dairy prices is a problem. Or are a problem. Is low prices are a problem. So, blah, 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 blah. Is Cameron talking soon? Cameron's going to come out tonight and say goodbye, right? No, 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 no. Hey, goodbye. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Abe reiterates that branches of government need to continue watching market developments. Important for G7 to continue messages on market stability. No, that's not the one. That's too long ago. I don't know. So somebody said something. Here's Kuroda. Oh, Bank of Japan can add funds to market if needed. Japanese banks have no issue with FX funding. That's not it either. So blah, 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 blah. Somebody in Japan said something. German consumer confidence way up from 9.8 to 10.1. The UK surprised everybody. Nationwide home prices were up 0.2 and 0.0 was expected. But actually, you know, they got 5.1% year over year, and that's pretty decent, huh? So check this out. So here's what the London boys were thinking when they sat down to make their first trades. Okay, you ready? Think of this. The London boys are sitting down. They have their cup of black tea. Oh, I love the Queen. I love the Queen, right? And they're getting ready for their first trade. They sit down at their desk, and this is what they read. Nikkei up 1.6. Kospi up 1.0. ASX up 0.8. New Zealand stock market, whatever that is, 1.3. Shanghai up 0.7. Hang Seng up 1.3. India Sensex, right? Up 0.5. Up, and up. What do? Risk on, baby. Sell some yen, bro. Wait, that doesn't sound like the English, right? Dude. Sell some yen, bro. Right? That sounds English, doesn't it? G'day, mate. Shall I sell some yen for ya? Ripper. So anyways, yeah, so guess what? The yen pairs went up. Now the question is, do you do that when you sit down, or what do you do when you sit down? Do you just sit down like, right? Or do you do that kind of stuff before you pull up your charts? What's the market doing tonight or last night or today or? One of Abe's advisors said the Japanese should not rule out doing FX intervention on their own. I love all this stuff. The Bank of Japan could hold an emergency meeting to ease policy. They could. They reiterate they must be on their guard, and they won't hesitate to maybe have a meeting. So, anyways, lots of stuff from Abe and Kuroda. Abe, Kuroda. What else going on? UK credit, fine. UK mortgage, fine. Eurozone business climate. Hey, it sucks. What a shocker. Wow, mortgage applications week over actually are down. That's a bit surprising. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage in the United States of America, 3.75, the lowest since May 2013. Amazing, huh? So anyways, what's your routine? Oops, what's your routine, bro? DeBeasta says, has the market moved drastically for some reason? Well, you know, there's a couple of things going on, and you should, I don't know, practice thinking this way, maybe. The market collapsed for a logical, intelligent reason, right? Markets had to get out, right? They just had to get out, risk. And then they got the news, and, you know, they're the wrong way. More risk. Who knows what's going to happen in the UK? Get out. Stops are hit. Get out. You know, so on and so forth, right? But what percentage of the market participants are professionals? Dennis, you can get my book at the Library of Congress. Or this little bookstore called Amazon.com. That works too. Okay. So I think there's a lot of like professional money, and they need to get back in. Okay, and the fall, it wasn't people shorting per se, it was people getting out. I mean, the second wave of, so if I could zoom in a little bit, the second wave is probably people shorting. Okay, this massive decline are stops, essentially. And then this is some people making some money, and now it's all over. And somebody's got to get back in somewhere, right? You got, right? Don't you remember saying, or me talking about like, you know, looking for opportunities? Wasn't that yesterday or on Monday? Are you considering banks? And if not banks, what? You know, what is it that you, or what, where's the op? Right? So it's not even bulls, Abigail, right? It's just money. Right now you can buy stuff you've been waiting for years to buy, and all of a sudden you're like, dude. Like, say it this way, wouldn't it be a good, isn't this a good time to go to London? Wasn't it just like, I remember I was planning a trip, I think it was the week I was going to propose to my wife. And the idea was we were going to go to Paris and you know, pop into London. And I looked at the exchange rate, and I can't remember what it was, right? $2.50, right? It took $2.50 to buy a pound, right? It was something like that. I'm like, oh my God, to take the taxi from the airport, from Heathrow, right? And I had the opportunity to rent the former home of Margaret Thatcher. So I was going to stay at Margaret Thatcher's house on the Thames. I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then I'm like looking at it, I'm like, wow, it's a bit expensive. And then I'm like, wow, it actually, when you convert here, it's actually very expensive. And then I'm like, oh my God, it was like $300 US to take the cab from Heathrow to the damn apartment. Pardon my French. Each way. The taxi. And I'm like, oh my God, every time we stop and eat, it's going to be $300,000, right? Like, oh my God, to pop into London, forget that. So I'm like, yeah, right? Forget London. It is a silly place, right? So we just cruised up and down France because the euro was only 130 or something, right? Yeah, so I left my money in Paris. So now would be a better time to go because it's not $2.50, it's $1.35, right? So like, you know, we're talking about almost half price just based on exchange rate, right? Yeah, exactly. No one likes to spend $300 on fish and chips, no matter how good they are. Okay, so you know, there's the real world. So anyway, so where's the opportunity? Well, maybe that's an opportunity. Go to London. Right? Go see the Queen's Jewels. Fine. So one of the things I think we talked about yesterday, didn't somebody have a plan? They were going to sell like this thing, was it the S&P 500? It was, wasn't it? Well, let me talk about what I think was said. I think somebody said they were going to sell this like at, it wasn't even the 3A2, it was like the 21 point something, and their plan was like this, right? Is this making sense? And I said, well, you got to fib this, and then you got to fib that, and then you got to look at the cluster, and I said, because of the multiple time frames, don't be shocked if this goes higher up to more like the 618, right? Don't be shocked that even though this thing just dropped thousands of pips, well, or the market dropped thousands of pips, that we don't have a bigger pullback, right? Wasn't that a conversation somewhere? Right? I'm just like, don't sell just because it's a 21 EMA on a 4 hour. Don't sell just because it's a pivot point. And you're like, well, you know, I always sell at the pivot points. Well, you know, this is not market conditions, is it? Normal market conditions, right? So that's that. So potentially good advice, which I'm always happy to give. Love it when it works out, right? Silver still going up. Aussie. Okay, here's an interesting example. I guess we could talk about this. And let's get past the noise. Oops, wrong way, son. Boom, 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 boom. All right. I wanted to get the other. Let's see if I can squeeze this in here and still make sense. Okay, good. Aussie yen. So one of the messages on Monday and Tuesday that I tried to focus on, or focus you on, is irregardless of what happened last week, no matter how amazing it is, you have to stay pure technical now, right? I'm the one admitting I don't know anything about the fundamentals. I'm the one admitting I don't know anything about pivot points. All of this I'm throwing out the window. Isn't that shocking? When I say things like that on Monday, I'm like, I don't know anything about pivots. In fact, I started out, I'm like, look, the market opened at these beautiful pivots. I'm just going to pass because I don't know. I just don't know. Right? How many times do I say things like that? Right? Look at my ego. I got huge tracts of land. Right? And so all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, I don't know. So I'm just going to play the price action. I'm not even going to use moving averages the way I normally do, right? Isn't that amazing? I'm only going to scalp. I'm going to use price action. Right? Didn't I talk about that for now like 3 hours? I'm only going to use price action. I'm only going to scalp. This may not go the way you think it's going to go. Okay? Fits the times though, but you know, that's a good mentor, isn't it? So looking at this, one of the things we talked about yesterday is the price action. Here's Aussie yen. It just fits the conversation nicely. Okay, so there's the price action yesterday. There's the low is here, the high is here. Did it? Okay, and here's the close. Okay, okay. So let's see. Generally bullish. Was it still bullish at the end of the day? So and here's yesterday's high, right? So there's the low, there's the high, there's the close. So it closed generally bullish. What's the price action? Bullish. So what have I taught you to do to swing trade? Did you notice? And I posted a video on swing trading strategies yesterday. Why you do that, Wayne? Why you do that? Right? I posted a video on the website yesterday around this point on how to swing trade. Yeah, it was from 2015. Well, yeah, but the video was from 2015. The strategy was from 2002, maybe. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay, so anyways, so what is a basic strategy for swing trading? One is you look at the low, you look at the high, you look at the sentiment at the end of the day, and you make a decision, are you a bull or a bear? Based on everything on the left, what would you assume? Okay, bull. Okay. Now, I like to tell stories because it paints a picture with your mind's eye. And it takes the knowledge and stores it visually. Even though you don't see it, you do see it, right? Right? You should be able to see some Englishman sitting at his desk with his cup of black tea. Little cup of black tea. Do you actually see a person when I say that? When the London boys get to work and sit down at their desk and drink their cup of tea and go through their analysis, right? Do you actually see an image? Anybody? Miles? Miles says they see shorting. Okay, let's do it this way. Here's what I like to do. I like to simplify things. I define myself as a trend trader. So if the market's going up, I'm not selling. And if I do, because I have to allow myself to do whatever I want, I better have a damn good reason, pardon my French. Boris. Right? So anyways, you have to kind of visually see things so that they're stored in different parts of your brain, right? So anyways, I look at this and I say sentiment is up. Where's the sentiment? The close of the market. At the end of the day, if they changed their mind, we'd be down here, right? So anyways, I say, well, I'm a bull. Okay, what's step 2? If you're a bull, what's the basic swing plan? Where do I buy? See, if I'm a bull, I can only buy. No, it's more specific than that, Sally. It's not fine support, but okay, I accept that. Somewhere between the 382 and 618 Fibonacci retracements, you will buy. That sweet spot, as I call it, is right here. Okay? That's it. So the plan is, here's how complicated it is. You ready for this? Yesterday was up. It comes down to our sweet spot, and you buy it with the intention of making a higher high. Oh, the math and it's so complicated. Some traders make trading incredibly complicated, and you need to be a mathematician to figure out their trade and how they make money. But I have been teaching that forever, right? That kind of stuff. Now, what happened on the British pound versus the US dollar? This is Aussie yen. What happened yesterday or today, whatever? What happened in London? Pound dollar retraced to the 618 and went up. Aussie yen only retraced to the 382 and went up. Right? Not terribly weirdly theoretically, just that's what you want, right? The question is that, do you look for that? Is that when you sit down at your desk, do you have that intent? Are you going through that type of process? What happened yesterday? What's happening now? What should happen in the next couple hours? Where's the 382, 618 sweet spot? Where's the next psychological level? Where are the pivot point clusters? What prices would I like to buy this? How close am I to that? What time is it now? When will the volatility come in? Where's the money coming from? Remember, it's not a video game. You don't just throw down a trade because of a number or because of a line on your chart. Okay? But because you're assuming someone else is going to throw down money, and when you get into your little cluster here of the daily central pivot point, oh, I know, right? Complicated technical analysis, the daily central pivot point. So you get in there and do you get the price action you were hoping for? Is there evidence that someone else bought where you thought they were going to buy anyways? Right? Do you like this huge drop, consolidation, higher high, higher low, 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 higher high, higher low? You're right. Well, now it's a question mark, but this is because New York's coming online, right? Oops, it's supposed to be an N. New York's coming online, and who knows what happens, so might as well get out of some of these trades, right? Makes sense, doesn't it? Right? Someone's going to get out of some of these trades before London opens, right? Or before New York opens, right? And that's not crazy talk. You could assume such a thing, right? So, coolio, cool beans. Is anyone going to change their behavior now? Did anybody have an aha moment? Just like, is it a behavioral thing? Right? You need to act like a professional, right? So I do funny things in situations like this. If I needed to change my behavior, so let's say I just had an aha moment and I said to myself, I need to act less like an amateur sitting at my kitchen table, and I need to act more like a professional foreign exchange trader, right? You know what I would do? And I am not joking. I would start wearing suits and ties to work. I'd wake up in the morning, put on suits and ties with cufflinks. I'd even go out and buy a new tie, my power tie. Maybe it has money on it, right? Hey, that's only going to cost you $2 to get a tie with $100 bills. But that's your power tie, that's your money. And I would go to work in my kitchen. And my wife would walk in like, what are you doing, honey? I'm a professional Forex trader. You're in my office. I got PPI coming out in a few minutes. Would you please vacate my office, please? Yeah. Yeah, the only problem, Peter, is my lunch break is usually at weird times. My lunch break is 5 o'clock in the morning, right? So anyways, yeah, no, totally, I would. I am not joking. I totally would. I once ran a company where you had, I think at that time, we probably just got our first, I don't know, 150 employees or something. And the company had grown. We'd moved into much nicer offices and stuff. We went from crappy offices to beautiful offices, right? And we were going to hire more and all these grand plans. And I realized that I wanted the team, because I managed the sales team, right? So I wanted my team just to be more professional, right? So I have a couple of choices. I could be the boss and come in and say, all right, you inglorious bastards, right? All right, you guys, and ladies, you have to wear ties. You wear suits and ties to work, right? And at best, that gets you resentment as a manager, right? They're like, I hate wearing these ties. That's not why I came to this company. I didn't have to wear ties last year. Why do I? And you always get people talking in the break room, and then, blah, blah, blah. I don't like wearing ties, and how dare he? And it just undermines positive energy, right? So I always dressed nice, but then I started dressing like nice every day. 7-fold silk ties with 3-piece wool suits. Nice. Right? Or as Fitty would say, a PIMP. Yeah. So I come to work like that, and probably within 6 weeks, just relentless every day, being more professional as the leader, all of a sudden people just out of their own choice started wearing ties. Even people that didn't own ties were suddenly wearing ties. Like literally people that would never in their life wear a tie suddenly felt, you know what? I like coming to work. The leadership is awesome, right? But also it's a positive environment where I could lift myself above mediocrity and be a type of person that might consider wearing a tie. And all of a sudden people are dressing nice and wearing ties, maybe not suits, but ties and nice shirts and better pants and feeling good about themselves. And it was a very good experiment. People chose, right? So you have this situation where that sounds stupid. What kind of moron works out of his kitchen in a three-piece suit? Now, the one that will probably succeed. You see what I mean? Yes, Sally, the company went from 0 revenue when I joined, and by the end of the second year, maybe, we were doing $1 million a month. Which is, I mean, we grew from 5 guys working out of an apartment to 300 employees, and then we had to get offices in LA and New York because we couldn't hire people fast enough. And there was no venture capital, no fake money, no investors whatsoever. It's not like someone gave us $1 million and we're like, oh my God, we have $1 million, we need to hire people. No. We picked up the phone and made money rain from the sky. Because we offered a great service and we pushed it hard. We called people. Yeah, it's called sales. So anyways, yeah, it was awesome stuff. So, oh yeah, okay, so let's take a look at, so, anyways, what are you going to do to bring success to yourself? That's a story from my own life. I just started wearing three-piece suits. I didn't have to tell anybody anything. Right? This is where success lives. This is where success thrives. And sometimes doing little things like that, you already know technical analysis. You're working to understand more about fundamentals. We all know that. Right? That's good. Boom. Act like you're going to work at Barclays in London. See what I mean? If you're in your, if you're trading in your underwear, your hair's all a mess, you smell like BO. That's how I smell at the end of the day, by the way. But you got to look good, feel good, act good, and say, you know what? I don't work in a skyscraper in downtown London, but I look like it. And then trade like it. Be it. Just do it. Whatever. Manifest your success instead of waiting for it. So these are all the wrong pivot points. All right. So, well, some of these we can maybe play. No, I don't want to do it. All right, fine. We'll leave that. Because if you go through your charts, you'll find that there are many other examples of that exact same trade plan working out. Yeah, Miles says, loneliness is one of the greatest obstacles, of trading online, right? So, that's why I'm here, isn't it? So, all I have to do to bribe you to be here every day is share my successes and failures with you, share my knowledge with you and my experience, my thoughts on the market, my thoughts in the industry, my vision for the future, share the fruits of my analysis. You see what I mean? And But if I didn't have any of that, you probably wouldn't be here, right? So I need you. I rely on you. You're my sweet baby. Because I'll tell you what, if you go back, and I think I talk about this in the book, when I was, before Forex, I was a venture capitalist. I managed a team of 10 investors, but I think it was about 10. I had just received a promotion to vice president of the firm. I'd been VP for maybe 2 or 3 months. I just got my big, beautiful office. I had 3 windows overlooking San Francisco Bay and the Bay Bridge. No joke. Okay? What am I, 30-ish? I mean, it seems like life's pretty good. That company at the time had about 300 employees. Okay? When I joined, it had 50, maybe. Okay? So there I am. I got my private office, awesome view, right on the San Francisco waterfront. Have you ever been to the San Francisco waterfront? It's awesome. It's awesome, right? So there I am, loving life, living large, right? And I decided to quit. What a loser! What a loser! What? I had a salary, I had benefits, I had the private office, I was just made VP. Oh my God! I quit. I quit. Do you think that was an easy decision? Now, going before that, I was an entrepreneur. And then I mentored and I coached and I trained other entrepreneurs because I love entrepreneurs. I am an entrepreneur, right? And so there I was, you know, like doing what I honestly thought I would do the rest of my life. And then I quit. Because I want to be in foreign exchange arbitrageur. Holy smokes. So I've gone all in. Okay? And so there I am trading out of my home office, and I calculated everything except the isolation factor. Yeah, that's not a bad job, right, Lawrence? Like, right? It wasn't a bad job. That was a lot to give up. So anyways, I become a foreign exchange trader, and then I find that I'm working day and night. My hours are strange, and most of it was nighttime. And those years, I still remember everything being black and white. I don't even remember color. And it was a very difficult time for me emotionally. Not technical analysis, not fundamental analysis. And I had some pretty neat trading techniques way back then, stuff that I just don't do anymore. But it was pretty neat at the time. But the real challenge was the isolation. Right? So I said, well, I need to bribe somebody to hang out with me. And I'm like, I don't know any foreign exchange traders. So I started a little thing called FX Bootcamp. And I'm like, I'll just tell everybody I know. I was also really mad, you know, being a young man. I wanted to change the world. Because when I started Forex, it was a secret. I don't know if you know that. There was no information about Forex at all. Right? I think at the time, if you typed in Forex on Amazon.com, you got Forex made easy. So it was a scam artist sales pitch in a book. I mean, that was it, right? Did you know there was a time if you typed in Forex on YouTube, I was the first 27 pages of results? I was the only one in the world on YouTube doing Forex videos. The only one in the entire world for a very long time. It's amazing. It's amazing, right? It's just totally ridiculously amazing. Yeah. So anyways, you know, just, you know, you are lucky, I suppose, to not be alone, to have a community. I hope you use it. Forex.Today is a great community. I hope you use it. I honestly, there's like 80-something people in the room right now. I don't know why we don't have at least 100 posts a day, maybe 150. Like, what? Why don't you? It flabbergasts me that you have a community of dedicated, focused people that are here every single day, and we're all trying to do the same thing, and yet you don't make at least one trading idea post. It's absolutely totally shocking to me. So I guess you just sit here and you listen. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. And then I don't know where you go or what you do. But what I said before is you have to manifest your success. You see what I mean? You want to prove your trading? Put it on the line in front of our friends. Like, maybe someone in Tunisia is going to laugh at you because they think your trade plan is stupid. But who cares? Okay? So, I don't know. Right? So, you have a resource that I think is powerful, and the community is only, what, the sum of all parts, or it's actually should be greater than the sum of all parts. But if you put in another, like the laws of reciprocity, if you put in a little and everyone else puts in a little, the bounty is exponential. Okay? So, I don't know, get involved and make it awesome. It's up to you. All right, so 8:30, let's see, check the news. Personal income, a little lower than expected. Personal spending as expected. All that is pretty normal. PCE deflator, a little less than expected. PCE core as expected. All that's pretty normal. It's pretty rare to get a shock on core PCE. So everything's all good in the hood on that. You know what? I did post something yesterday. I want to revisit and see how it came out. Let's move it here. Yesterday, I threw down a trade. What was it? Oh yeah. Citigroup shorted Euro USD from 1080. Well, that's where we are now. All right, well, forget that. So don't tell anybody, right? Check this out, though. So their target is 105.25. So let's say they basically shorted 111, going for 105. How many pips is that? How do you have that info? Well, just, you know, a little bird told me. But maybe you should participate on the activities stream, right? So that's a lot of pips, isn't it? What is that, 600 pips? Their stop is at 115. So they have a 400 pip stop. Citi trades a little differently, right? Or do they? Are they trading off weeklies? Is it a monthly, right? It is a longer term trade, obviously. Maybe, right? It is a long term trade. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Windows is doing something. Windows just closed down. Did you see that? Oh no! Windows! Damn you, Windows! Where I gotta bring the. Where's the webinar? Hang on. Did you see that? So only some of my Windows. Where's my trade news? Oh, how do you post on? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Why not? Hang on. I got to open the window again. All right, Forex.Today. Okay. So take a screenshot of your trade plan, right? So you go click, click, boom, you got a screenshot, right? Drag it here. Drag your chart image here. No window opens up. Okay? So, in this case, I'll just put that there. Okay? And so you can click it or you can just drag it. And you get a window like this. Category, Forex trading idea, Euro USD trade plan for today, whatever the date is. This is where I discuss my outlook for today. And then here's my image. You can put a title there. So you can call it, let's say, daily chart. And under here on content, you're like, on this chart, you will notice that the blah, 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 blah. If you need some more space, it's ripper awesome. You can give yourself more space. Don't worry about it. Okay? Then you're like, that's only the daily chart. So let's add another one. Okay? And then I say 1 hour chart. Based on the daily resistance, I am now looking for blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's talk about trigger. Okay? So 15-minute chart. As you can see, we are now at multi-time frame resistance, and I am looking for a reversal pattern such as this for my potential short trade entry. Oops. Entry. Wow, can't even spell. So whatever. And it's not entry. There you go. All right. And then you go, boom, save changes, and it's posted. That was really complicated, right? In fact, I'll show you. Boom. So it's now uploading. It's on the website now. Really complicated, right? So you can take a look at it. Here it is. This is where I discussed my outlook for today. There's my daily chart. There's my 1 hour chart. There's my 15-minute chart. And see the comments under each, nicely organized. You can follow me. You can like it. All that kind of stuff. It's in my dashboard. Right? Where I can see all my posts and all my followers. I can see all my community. These are my people following me, right? It's on the home page, right? It's in the trading section. Okay, cool, right? And now it's gone. Okay, so honestly, if I were me, learning how to trade, because I started with nothing except scumbags and scam artists, right? You know, I would throw myself into this. Because I would look at this as my personal trade journal. Right? So, like, for example, your this is your dashboard, and this should be your trade journal. Every trade you make, day after day after day, it should all be there. Right? That should be your trade journal. That you can go back and see what you did. Get some feedback. Get feedback from a community of other like-minded professionals. Okay? Okay? You are not alone. I am here with you. Right? Though we're far apart, you're always in my heart. So, boom. Pivot clusters are at least not being ignored. Yeah, you're right. I'll look into that. But the other thing you could do, and most of the authors do this anyways, put the date in your title. Okay? And if you guys are not leaving posts, but you are reading them, at least like or comment, huh? Okay. So anyways. Because, you know, the authors are notified. So they take the time, sometimes a lot of time, and they put that there, and all of a sudden, bing, 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 people are liking it, and they're like, oh, well, that was worth my time. All right, so let's take a look at some commodities. I'll bring up oil, but I'm going to look over here to my other charts. Dollar index is generally down, but we're on the 4-hour 21. That might be supportive. The US dollar being weak has weakened against the Chinese yuan. So the USD yuan has fallen off of its weekly reversal pivot point, by the way. Like literally M4 was the top. Coincidence? I don't know. Copper has been up for a while and is now stabilizing high, which is nice. And gold. It was up, it was down, It's all over the place based on what you hear on CNBC. Because, you know, when gold is down, CNBC says, wow, gold is up so much. I'm like, really? It's fallen all night. Why are you talking about it up now? Well, because they scheduled it 2 days early. Oil. I have a weekly central pivot point here, but on my other chart, I have it lower. Let me change this to a 15-minute chart and see. No, that must be it. Maybe that is right. 48. What does this say? I have it at 48.09. What is this? 48.40. It's a little different, but it's not far off. My other chart says here, it's just set up differently, different pivot point. But either way, someone's paying attention to this, right? You notice the glory, the monthly and the weekly pivot point actually held on oil. Even after all this, right? Probably more than the currency pairs, right? I mean, somebody really seriously traded oil logically and intelligently, right? I think that's cool. Okay? So somebody bought a weekly support, monthly support. That's what this is. Weekly weekly S1, monthly M2. Look at that. Or do you think that's a coincidence? I mean, you could say, well, that was a coincidence, right? But I look at that and I think, well, somebody bought it at this pivot, somebody bought it at this pivot, and somebody bought it at this pivot, or is buying it right this second. No? Can't quite. I'd like to zoom in a half a click. But anyways, logical and intelligent, right? Because it just seems like higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Okay? And based on pivot points, right? Now, of course, the standard operating procedure is to buy it off the 21, right? Oops, come on, drawing tool. There we go. Right? That's the standard operating procedure, right? And then this is the reversal part, right? So if you're using moving averages on this time frame, you would be a buyer, wouldn't you? And my guess is you'd buy it and get nervous around 50, right? So how similar or dissimilar is CAD in price action? What do you think? Similar? Yeah. Well, do you guys do this? Do you watch oil and trade CAD? You do that, Peter? Right on. Okay, and strikes and threats, and well, the argument against that is potentially more rigs are coming on. So I told you on Monday to watch the Baker's Hughes rig count on Friday, right? So we talked about that. So here it is on the calendar. Let me show you. Oh, it doesn't have. Oh, I have to scroll for Friday. Okay. What? Why can't I get Canada Day on here? I can't scroll, doctor. I can't scroll. Oh, there we go. There it is. Right? So on Wednesdays we have oil inventory. What day is it today? And we're ending the webinar on oil and CAD? That's weird. So at 10:30 we get oil inventories. Right? And then on Friday we get a rig count. Well, that's less than ideal. I can't do anything about that. Okay, but what? Oops. Okay. So here's the rig count as oil prices were falling. The number of rigs here is falling. Okay. And I brought it up to what, last month? Right around in here. That trend may have come to an end. Neat, huh? And so the rig count just, oh, sorry. Now it's more pronounced, right? You're like, wow, Wayne, look at that. So anyways, things might have changed recently, huh? Maybe this is why oil is going up. Who knows? So anyways, watch it, right, on Friday. And of course, you can get that news at Forex.Today. Wow. So another great trading day. Half decent week on something that could have been risky. Alex, pound dollar rebounds after Elliott Wave 5. Cool. Well, put it on a chart, post it on Forex.Today, and let's see what you think. Okay, and just since our webinar started, 3 of our analysts have made posts for you to review. Cool. Oh, and one last thing. Would you go to your profile and add your image? It's this one. Profile settings. And add your picture. Would you do that? Just looks better. It'll say add photo. Well, it doesn't have to be your real picture, right, John? Just put a nice picture, not a funny picture. Don't put like a dog's head or some funny, weird, goofy thing. Just put a photo. Let's keep it professional, huh? Even if it's not you, put a professional looking photo. Right, because again, we are setting the culture. Do you want goofy Facebook garbage, or do you want professional collaboration? That's all. That's just, I'm saying, do what you want. Just make sure you know what you want. So without further ado, I got to move on.com, but I love you, and I'm glad you're here every day. I need you in my life. So I'm here every day, rain or shine, whether I'm on vacation or not, whether I'm traveling or not, whether I'm sick or healthy. I'm here for you. Yeah, so thank you for your loyalty. Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.